Welcome to the Road to the Ryder Cup, hosted by Dr. Jeff Poblarski and my dad, PGA golf professional Frank Darby. Let's go USA.
Hello and welcome to the Road to the Ryder Cup. My name is Frank Darby and my co-host is Dr. Jeff Poblarski. He's the guy with all the statistics and he'll tell us exactly when this Ryder Cup is going to start. So let me turn it over to Dr. Jeff Poblarski.
Yeah, just a couple of updates. As of today's recording, it's inside 100 days to the Ryder Cup. It's actually 97 days. Man, it's really gearing up at Bethpage. Obviously, I'm on the ground there a couple of times a week, and just it's a complete, full-blown construction site. They're building all kinds of tents, media centers, volunteer hospitality, corporate hospitality tents. There's bulldozers, there's tractors. It's just very, very exciting on what's going on with Bethpage. So that's just a little update from there. Update with the Tunnel to Towers. We're approaching the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and the Tunnel to Towers has all kinds of events planned. One of their plans is actually the lights that illuminate at One World Trade Center during 9/11, which is owned by the Tunnel to Towers. They made a bold statement the other day that they're going to take those lights and they're going to illuminate them in all 50 states from, I believe, September 7th, 8th to 9/11. So that's going to be a pretty impressive operation. They're always doing some great things. And, never forget is basically their motto. And let us do good, too, is another motto of theirs. Update with me, just personally, USGA events. I'm heading to Colorado, to the Broadmoor, which is an awesome facility for the Senior U.S. Open. So we're looking forward to providing performance and recovery services there. So just a little update about Bethpage, Tunnel to Towers, and USGA events. But we have a great guest today. He's a longtime friend of mine. He's been in the business in golf on Long Island for many, many years. He's got 36 years as the publisher of New York Golf Magazine. He's also been the publisher for the last 5 years of Destination a magazine. He's also the president of the International Network of Golf. I want to talk to him a little bit about that, what that actually entails. And even more important than anything, he's grown up on Long Island. He's played Bethpage so many times. He's local. This is a guy that's totally dialed into the Long Island golf scene. In fact, his magazine is featuring the Ryder Cup on several editions leading up to the Ryder Cup. So, John, how you doing? And just some thoughts about having the Ryder Cup come to your hometown.
Dr. Jeff, Frank, thanks so much for having me on. I'm doing great. I mean, the weather's finally broke here on Long Island. As you know, we live in this area. It's exciting to have the Ryder Cup here. I grew up 2 miles from Bethpage. I'm pretty sure my father has black and white film footage of me skiing down the first tee as a kid, between his legs. So now I live 8 miles away. So I've never really left the area. You mentioned I played the black course certainly once a year, but back in the day, I was probably playing it two, 3 times a week. Absolutely loved the golf facility, loved the place. I remember way back when you used to not even be able to get a tee in the ground. It was so hard, but that changed when 2002 showed up, when the U.S. Open was back there then. But I'm thrilled to be on the show, and you have a lot going on, and it's just so exciting that the Ryder Cup is coming to Long Island, New York, where it should be after all the recognition that Bethpage Black has received.
John, it's pretty interesting. I forget who we were talking with. Might have been Charlie Robson. And I was talking about the old days at Bethpage when you couldn't make a starting time ahead of time. So you went in there and you waited on a line, and, you always looking at, it was almost like going to OTB. You're looking at the tote board about where I could go. And again, we used to play the black a lot because nobody wanted to go out there. It was such a, terrifying kind of golf course. But do you remember the old cafeteria? It was like the old Horn and Hardits, and then you'd go out and you'd putt for a couple of hours because you had a 3-hour wait. But I loved those days. That was a fun time.
It was. And we may need to explain what OTB and Horn and Hardits are to some of the listeners, but OTB is off-track betting. But you're absolutely right. The memories I have, certainly growing up there, but cafeteria. I remember the trays you would get online.
Yeah.
But my father has the story because he worked at Grumman Aerospace, which was right nearby. He used to sleep in his car online overnight, which they're kind of doing now. But back in the day, as he was younger, he would get paid from other golfers to sleep online. And then they would show up at 6 o'clock in the morning and he would go back home and go to sleep. But this was when he was a kid also. So there's a lot of memories. It's actually part of the reason, Bethpage is part of the reason I started my golf magazine. They used to have these big wooden billboards out near the circle in front of the clubhouse. And I remember it saying, Andy North Golf Clinic, first tee, June 3rd, whatever the date was. But it was like August. And I'm going, how did I miss this? I mean, here's Andy North on the first tee and Chuck Burton was back there today. I'm going, how did I miss this? I'm here all the time. And it gave me the idea of being able to get out golf information and what was taking place on Long Island, and certainly the fabulous golf facilities that are here, having the U.S. Open in Shinnecock and certainly at Bethpage and what goes on and takes place here. I needed to, I wanted golfers to know about it. And that was really the impetus of me starting the golf magazine.
John, Long Island is just such a hotbed of golf courses. People come from around the world. I know you have that magazine, Destination Magazine, but I had a couple of questions for you. First of all, how many golf courses are there on Long Island? And what have you heard? What are these golf courses going to be doing during the Ryder Cup? Are they doing any type of celebratory events, or there's going to be people from all over the world here looking to play golf. So any
Right.
thoughts on that? Those
Sure.
questions.
I mean, I think one thing we've always talked about in the industry over the past 35, 40 years, and I know a few people that wanted to start or have Long Island as a golf destination. It's not it's not going to be a Pinehurst. It's not going to be abandoned. It's not, it's just the way it's set up with so many public golf courses and private golf courses, and we're not set up with a golf resort or any golf resorts. The thing is, people come here for business, but they bring their golf clubs with them. Whether they are going to play National Golf Links of America or Garden City Golf Club or some private club on Long Island, they're coming here to play golf, but they're not coming here on a vacation for 5 days, play 36 holes, kind of like when we go on a golf trip. My golf destination magazine started because, as you know, come September, October, November, it gets cold here. We have snow. And if you're going to play golf, you need to go somewhere else, whether it's Vegas, California, Florida, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. You're leaving Long Island in the winter to go play golf. But to have Long Island as a golf destination where somebody that lives in Minnesota is coming to Long Island to play, no, but the world does come here to play, just not as a golf destination.
And how many courses? But how many courses are there on Long Island?
It depends on how you count them. There is about 135. And the example I use is Bethpage has 5 golf courses. It's one facility, but it has 5 golf courses. You could take Eisenhower Park. It's one facility, but has 3 golf courses. So you add it all up and say, give or take, you're around 135 golf courses. Interestingly enough, it's about half and half public and private.
Yeah. Hey, John, you're a member at a great club. I was an assistant at Mill River a ways back, and that was always a really cool, diverse kind of club. I really enjoyed being there. Really good staff, and still close to a number of people out of there as well.
And absolutely. I've been there about 24, 25 years now, and certainly remember the transition and the changes made, like many clubs. Thrilled now to have Jason Caron and his wife Liz at Mill River as the head golf professional and LPGA professional there. Jason's now playing on the senior tour. He's doing really, really well. And it's exciting. I went to see him play down in Florida in one of the events. He's going to be playing out at the Broadmoor. I'm a little surprised, Frank, I have to tell you. I don't know if you got the invite. I didn't get the invite to go with Dr. Jeff out to the Broadmoor next week. But, maybe I'll check my email later to see what happens.
Yeah, no, I didn't get the invite either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. I have a couple extra rooms if you want to come out. But John, going back to the president of the International Network of Golf, what is that about, and what are your responsibilities with that organization?
The International Network of Golf is an organization that I joined about, 30 years ago. I was invited to go play and meet with a couple of members, the executive director. I fell in love with the group. It basically brings together the golf media, which could be TV, radio, social media, print, digital, brings the media together with the golf industry. And the golf industry is everybody else. It's club manufacturers, Callaway, Tour Edge, Titleist, TaylorMade, along with instruction equipment, training aids, instructors. So they have two conferences, forums a year where we all get together somewhere in the country. It moves around quite a bit. And I just love the group so much. And after about 25 years, there was a board was started. I was the vice president, and then I became president. And it's been an incredible experience. And joining, I've said it before, joining the International Network of Golf was probably one of the best golf decisions I've ever made.
I was just going to say, if I'm not mistaken, Ann Ligori was heavily involved in that as well, right?
Yes, and she's done some hosting. She's great on air with WFAN, and she covers so many of the major events in golf. She is a member, and obviously, I think we all know Ann lives on Long Island, so we get to see her quite a bit, and she's absolutely fabulous. And she does talk about the group, and I see her at the conferences and certainly at the PGA show in January. So yeah, she's involved in pretty much, a pretty high profile people in the golf industry are involved, along with the media, whether it's Golf Digest, Sports Illustrated, social media guys. And it's just a great group that we get together and compare and see what's going on in the industry.
John, our sponsor is the Tunnel to Towers. I'm sure you're familiar with them, being from New York, but although people from all over the world know our organization, but they're the sponsor of this podcast. Their website is t2t.org. You can make as little as $11 donation a month to assist our American heroes. So we'd like to go to commercial break and hear from the Tunnel to Towers.
Hi, I'm Gary Player. I'm a professional golfer. I've won 165 tournaments, and I'm one of 5 golfers to achieve a Grand Slam career victory. But what means more to me than all of this is my ability to give back and do good, particularly to the United States of America. That's why I'm committed to helping Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Good to see you, Frank. Good to see you, Gary. How you doing?
You're one of the most successful golfers that ever played the game. You're an incredible human being, but you joined the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. You see the work we're doing, and you wanted to help us raise money because how much you love America.
And I'll never forget one of the days I went for you in Miami. This lady was on duty with her husband and the police. She heard that her husband had just been killed. Now she's got 2 children. What's the first thought that comes to your mind? How am I going to support these children? How am I going to give them an education? How am I going to give them a normal life? What am I going to do with my mortgage? Tunnel to Towers is right there, across the board. I mean, what you do is fantastic.
Because you know the sacrifice that was made for our country to give us this beautiful country.
I doubt if there's anybody that loves the country more than I do. And I have said gratitude for what this country has not only done for me, but what it's done for the world.
And as a foundation, we're there to help these families after they lose their loved one and they have young families left behind. And I know you're here to join us on that.
Tunnel to Towers is working every day to support America's greatest heroes. Please donate $11 a month at t2t.org. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Let us do good.
Hey, welcome back to the Road to the Ryder Cup, and we've got a really good guest here in John Glozek. So, John, let me just ask you a little bit about the black, and I've said this a couple of times. I think it's going to get a little tricky out there on holes 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the flow of the amount of people being out there. What do you think is going to happen there?
I think they have to figure that out. One is going to be pretty simple. There's going getting down the hill, and they're going to have tents out there and corporate tents and everything else. You have to cross the road to get over to 2. That's going to be a little tricky heading down the right side of 2 because you certainly can't go down the left side. So after that, I mean, I thought maybe There are a couple good spots to watch the crowd if you don't want to follow them. I think behind 2 green could be a good spot because they'll have some grandstands there because you'll get to see hitting approaches into 2 green. You'll watch them putt, and you'll get to see them hit the tee shot on 3, which is going to probably be about a 200-yard par 3. So traffic flow is going to be interesting. That road will be shut down, the Round Swamp Road. There'll be, nobody will be on that, and they'll just be crossing there and at 14 to 15.
Yeah, I think a couple of good vantage spots out there might be around like 7 and 9 coming back up, and you can see some of the other holes from there as well. I think that back 9 is going to be a good place. The early back 9 is going to be a great place to
Right.
be.
I think it is. I think there's even, you get spots like behind 5 green and 6 tee, because if
Yeah.
you want to walk off, you go back to right behind you is the 12th fairway. So those are early spots on over there. Obviously 15. I know they're going to put grandstands behind 17T. That's going to be interesting because some of the competition may not get that far. It certainly could end on 15 or 14 early on and see what happens. But there are going to be some really great spots it's a big golf course, a big piece of property. You got 13 out there, the par 5s. There's going to be, and behind 14 green, watch them hit into that green will be a nice spot too.
John, there's going to be so much interest during the Ryder Cup, and I know the peripheral golf courses on Long Island, those 130 plus golf courses you just discussed, I think they're going to be extremely busy. But for the people that are coming from all around the world and all of these guests from the United States also, any recommendations of 2 or 3 gem golf courses that from a public facility that these people could go and play? Any recommendations on that?
Sure. I think the red course at Eisenhower Park would be an absolute gem to play. I mean, they had the senior tour there way back when. Might have a little place in my heart. It was one of the best rounds I've ever shot in my life during one of the media pro events there. The blue course at Timber Point. I always call it like the mini Pebble Beach. Obviously it's 9 holes. They have a 27-hole facility. You're going to play 18 holes, but whether you play the white and the blue or the red and the blue, you're right on the water there, and it's absolutely spectacular. If you want to head out east, I don't know how far away you want to get from Bethpage, but you can head out the Riverhead if you wanted to. You got Island's End is out there in Greenport, ways away, but certainly worth heading out towards. And those might be a couple really good ones. And Harbor Links, I maybe should that's a little bit different of a golf course. It always kind of reminds me of the Southwest for some reason, but that would be another, and that's pretty close to Bethpage.
Yeah, John, it'll be a good place too is means going over the bridge, but it's right there, Bally's Ferry Point as well.
A little expensive for a non-New York City resident, but absolutely spectacular. I had the opportunity to play it last year. It is amazing. And if you've never been to Ireland or Scotland and may never get there, head over to Bally's. And Brian Kroll over there is an absolute gem as the head professional director over there.
And Kelly Brook, obviously, the director of instruction at Bethpage, is a good friend of ours. She's managing Harbor Links. She's also at Lido Golf Course down in Lido Beach. That's a nice little track, and a little 9-hole little gem, Merrick Road Park. If you want to get away for a couple of hours during the Ryder Cup or earlier in the week, you go there and play 9 holes there in that area too.
And I think that's the thing about Long Island, and we mentioned it earlier. It's not a golf destination, but we have some absolutely fabulous public golf courses. I mean, there's really Lido comes to mind, and if you head out east a little bit, there's just so many good ones that you could play, and you don't have to sleep in your car or online.
Yeah, for our viewers, there's a couple of thoughts I wanted to make. Number one, you mentioned about sleigh riding down Bethpage for our viewers when it snows here in the Northeast, especially obviously in New York on Long Island. It's a state park, Bethpage, and you could bring your sleigh and you could go down these hills and enjoy that experience. And then the parking or sleeping out in your car to get a tee time, a preferred tee time, has become a big deal here at Bethpage, and that's been publicized all over the media around.
And it's always interesting. I drive past Bethpage a lot. Like I said, my parents still live in the house I grew up in 2 miles away. I'm actually going to see my dad after this, after we get together here. But it's interesting driving past Bethpage at 6 o'clock at night and seeing somebody already sleeping in their car. And then by 4:30 in the morning, there's 30 cars lined up in the dark with tents, with coolers, with barbecues, everything ready to go so they could either play one of the other golf courses and Bethpage Black. And that's been going on. And that's not just because of the Ryder Cup. That's something that's been going on for, like I said, my dad used to sleep in his car when he was 15 years old to get paid to sleep in his car. So it's been going on a long time. And I think people didn't realize just how good Bethpage Black was before Tiger won in 2002. It got a lot of attention then. Before then, nobody knew where Bethpage was, and now the whole world really knows where Bethpage was, and well deserved.
John, it's going to get interesting there. I guess they're closing. Jeff, what are they closing? About 3 weeks early?
August 18th is the last round on the Black.
All right. So I would probably assume like that month of July, you're going to have a lot of film crews out there, people staying in recreational vehicles just to be able to film that whole experience. Parking and trying to get a ticket.
I mean, there's a lot going on there. Already going on, which is amazing. I mean, you have corporate tents going up, the infrastructure is going up. The what was next to the driving range is a compound now. So it's funny because I drive right down Ron Swamp Road quite a bit, and I'll always stop to take a picture of what's going on, or the 17th hole, which is right there, especially at sunrise because it faces east to west. So pretty incredible area, and it's fun, but it's going to be crowded, and it's going to be loud, and it's going to be insane, and the whole world is going to be here, and be ready for it because it's going to be so good.
John, the Tunnel to Towers, those are our sponsors you just heard, but our guest will receive a pair of whiskey leather wrap glasses. We'll get your address and we'll send that to your house, and you can enjoy a little drink after the USA team wins.
Loving it. Love it.
For our viewers too, you can see us or listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, X, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Like, share, love, repost, comment. We'd appreciate that in a big way. John, my last question to you is, what do you think Long Island is going to look like September 22nd to September 30th? Just give us a little glimpse of what's that going to look like.
I think we're going to get a lot of attention, and we all live here, so there's already a lot of traffic. I remember we talked about early days of Bethpage. I mean, way back in the day when I first started driving, there was 2.5 million people living on Long Island. Now there's almost 5 million people living on Long Island. We're still an island. We're still surrounded by water, and it's packed. And then you bring in the Ryder Cup, and you bring in the rest of the world. The good news is everybody will be at Bethpage, and the roads will probably be cleared, and I'll be able to drive on the Long Island Expressway. But having the media here, having so many international players, international visitors, it's going to be a packed house. We're going to get a lot of attention. And I said before, a lot of well-deserved attention. Everybody that's involved to helping to make this happen has been absolutely incredible. And come to enjoy it. I mean, it's really an experience. Whether I know I've heard people talk about the price or not being able to get a ticket, and so watch it on TV. Enjoy the experience. Enjoy if you're coming here. Enjoy the restaurants. Maybe head over to Jones Beach, which you probably have to park at anyway, and go see what Long Island has to offer. I mean, it's absolutely a wonderful place, and the fact that it's just 30 miles east of New York City, probably one of the greatest cities on the planet. Spend a little extra time here, go and see a Broadway show, go out to the restaurant, see what the whole area has to offer. With 4 international airports, it's easy to get to. So we're going to have a lot of attention, and it's going to be an incredible week. And I know we'll be spending time together, so that'll be fun.
Sure. So, John, tell our audience, how would they get access to the New York Golf Magazine or Destination Magazine?
That's it. Just go to the website. It's nygolfmagazine.com. It's all digital. It's all up there. We come out. The New York Golf Magazine comes out 5 times a year. The Golf Destination Magazine comes out 3 times a year. The thing there is, let's not forget, like we mentioned earlier, it snows up here. It gets really cold come December. So, knowing about where to travel and continue your golf experiences throughout the country and throughout the world, check out, Golf Destinations magazine.
Awesome.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, John, thanks a lot for all that great information. Again, our sponsor is Tunnel to Towers. You could go on T2T.org and make as little as $11 donation to help our American heroes. John, look forward to seeing you, and it's going to be a great year here on Long Island.
It really is. Guys, I appreciate being on anytime. I look forward to seeing you again.
And inside 100 days to the Ryder Cup.
97, he said earlier. And Bethpage, I'll say just one last thing. Bethpage and Shinnecock, and I know they're both on Long Island, are my 2 favorite golf courses in the world. And I tell everybody, I know I live here, but they're that good.
All right. Have a great week.
You too,
Thanks,
guys.
John.
Thanks. Good to see you.